Is it possible for a member of the human race to learn the meanings and writings of 1,000 kanji in just 2 weeks using James Heisig's Remembering the Kanji, or RTK? Yes. How do I know? Well, because I did it, and as far as I know, I am indeed a member of the human race. Now, before you call me a bullshitter or con artist, please watch until the end of the video. Then you can call me whatever you want. Deal? After learning the meanings and writings of the first 1,000 kanji in about 6 months with RTK, I switched gears and learned the second 1,000 in just 2 weeks. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I did that and what I learned along the way. Let's jump into the fun stuff. First, let's look at some numbers. In order to learn the meanings and writings of 1,000 kanji in 2 weeks, you're going to have to learn 71 to 72 new kanji per day. At the rate of 2 minutes per kanji, that's about 2.5 hours of study per day. Now, add about an hour of review to that, and you're at 3.5 hours of study and review per day. This is about how much time I put in to learn the meanings and writings of 1,000 kanji in just 2 weeks with RTK. So is learning and reviewing kanji for about 3.5 hours a day a piece of cake? By no means. Is it doable though? Absolutely. Look, I know most of you probably don't have this much time daily to devote to learning the kanji, but whether you have 5 minutes or 5 hours, there's still something for you to learn from this video, so stick around. How much time can you guys realistically devote to learning the kanji? Let us know in the comments. So some of you are probably thinking, a new character in 2 minutes? Really? Yeah. Let's try with the character Utsu, or Depressed Depression. Sorry for picking such a gloomy character, guys, but this is actually the common use kanji with the most strokes. In that sense, this is going to be the most difficult kanji character you encounter in RTK. So I'm going to start a timer and we can have a go at it. Starting a 2-minute timer now. Okay guys, so first let's take a look at the kanji for depression. All right, I'll introduce its component parts. I do like to call them component parts rather than radicals for reasons that I won't discuss here. So we'll start with can. We have grove, which is made up of 2 trees. We have crown, which can also represent a king. We have nyoizake, which is smelly alcohol, basically. And then we have shape. And guys, I apologize for the handwriting. I am not a calligrapher by any means. Okay, so now let's look at a story. So we have a king sitting in a grove, drinking smelly alcohol from a can, because the shape of his old life has been completely lost. Maybe he lost his kingdom or his queen or something like that. So indeed, this king is wallowing in depression. Okay, let's go ahead and cut that. And let's go ahead and write the kanji in its proper order. Okay, so 2 trees, crown, nyoizake, and shape. Let's do that one more time. Can, 2 trees, not a calligrapher, as you can see. Okay, and shape, there you have it. Okay, now let's check the timer. What do you know, there are 38 seconds left. Okay guys, so in about 1.5 minutes, I introduced to you the component parts of the kanji. I gave you a story to remember the meaning and how to write the kanji, and I wrote the kanji twice for practice. And that's all you have to do to remember each new kanji in James Heisig's RTK. Let's do one more just for fun. I chose this one because it's not a common use character. In other words, you're not going to encounter this in RTK. And the point here is that even after you finish RTK, you can continue using Heisig's method to learn new kanji. The next character is Kawauso, or river otter. Okay, starting a 2-minute timer now. So once again, let's look at the component parts. Okay, so we have beast or animal. We have bundle, usually of long cylindrical things. We have sword, and we have shell, which can also mean money because shells were used as money in ancient China. Okay, so let's go for the story now. So you're going to embark on this great journey, and it's going to be dangerous, so you need a weapon of some sort. You're in this fantasy world, okay, and you're walking along a river, and out comes this little beast, indeed a river otter. And in his hands, he is carrying a bundle of swords. And the little guy looks at you and he says, hey, traveler, would you like one of these swords? And you think, oh, what a kind little fellow. So you say, sure, and you reach out your hand to grab one, and he snaps at you and he says, nah, cough up the shells, bro. Okay, and that is how you remember the character for River Otter. Okay, let's go ahead and delete that and write it several times. So we have beast, bundle, sword, and shell. Once again, guys, I apologize for my sloppy handwriting. Beast, bundle, sword, and shell. Okay, and let's check the timer. What do you know? 30 seconds left. So there you have it, guys. The common use kanji character with the most strokes and an uncommon character for River Otter can be learned in under 2 minutes each. Now, you guys might be tempted to shake your fist and say, well, John, you already knew those characters. It's true, I knew Utsu, the character for depression, before filming this video. However, I learned River Otter for this video, and when I did so, I timed myself and it took me less than 2 minutes. But John, you already knew the component parts. Yeah, and so will you by the time you encounter these kanji if you go through RTK in order. Also, you'll pick up the added benefit along the way of learning the proper stroke order, which is something you won't get with a program like WaniKani. On top of that, guys, keep in mind that a lot of kanji can be learned in about a minute. And some kanji like 1, 2, 3, mouth, day, 10, old, person, tree, rest, can be learned in a matter of seconds. Now guys, here's the main point I want to convey about RTK in this video, so listen up. The less you stretch out the process of learning the kanji, the more momentum you'll build. You're not only learning individual kanji characters, you're also getting better at learning the kanji characters. You're practicing a skill that's going to improve over time. The more you practice in a short amount of time, the quicker you're going to get. I even got to the point, guys, where conjuring up a story or image for a new kanji became a reflex. You know when you go to the doctor and he hits your knee with the little hammer and your foot shoots out? I'm talking that type of thing. So I would look at a kanji and its meaning and boom, I would just get the image, I'd get the story, and then I'd write it a couple times and move on to the next one. I definitely don't think that would have happened if I had dragged out the process for too long. I do want to acknowledge here, guys, that a certain level of talent or natural skill is certainly advantageous. Some of you probably can't learn complex kanji in 2 minutes, no matter how hard you try. Well, guys, don't beat yourself up about that. The point about focusing your learning of the kanji into a short period of time to increase your efficiency still applies to you guys. And for those of you who can't dedicate hours a day to learning the kanji, at least try to make it a daily habit. That way you won't have to spend time recalling the component parts that you've forgotten or remembering how to use Heisig's method in the first place. You can just focus on writing new kanji, getting their meanings down, and doing the reviews that you need every day. Even at the rate of 5 or 6 kanji per day, you guys can learn all 2,136 common use kanji in only 1 year, which is pretty good actually. Okay, so we've talked about learning new kanji characters. How should we approach their review? Enter Kanji Kohi. It's a free website that I won't discuss in too much detail here, but it uses spaced repetition to help you memorize the kanji from RTK. I highly recommend it, please check it out. Earlier on in the video, I mentioned doing about an hour a day of review, and to some of you this might seem like an insanely short amount of time, but if you're using Heisig's method correctly, you're only going to have to write the kanji once or twice per review, which means you just look at the keyword, write it once or twice, and then move on to the next kanji. Now, keep in mind that you're only learning the meanings and writings of the kanji, not the readings. So reviews are going to go by much faster than you think. If you guys want to learn the reading simultaneously, WaniKani is an excellent resource for that, but just be aware that if you use WaniKani, it's going to take you much longer to learn the meanings of the kanji, and you're not going to learn any writings unless you use some external resource. Leave some comments telling us about your experience learning the kanji, whether it be with RTK, WaniKani, or some other resource. Hopefully I've shown in this video that it's completely possible to learn the meanings and writings of 1,000 common use kanji characters in 2 weeks using RTK. If so, this suggests that a truly dedicated learner with a lot of time on their hands can learn all 2,136 common use kanji characters in about a month. Granted, it'll take some time to figure out the stroke order of the kanji and to get familiar with Heisig's method, but that'll be balanced by the fact that the early kanji that you learn are very, very simple. Guys, the video games, TikTok, porn, parties, and whatever else you're spending time on daily can wait. I promise they'll still be there when you get back. Learning the kanji is considered one of the most difficult aspects of learning the Japanese language, right? So why not just focus and knock them out as quickly as possible? Having done so, you'll feel a lot less overwhelmed by the difficult texts that you encounter, and you'll build this great momentum that will propel you through the rest of your Japanese studies. If you don't have classroom obligations to learn vocabulary and grammar, it's totally fine to set those aside until you finish RTK. I promise you won't regret it. Leave comments and questions down below, and if you got anything out of the video, please click the like button and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Mata ne!